fucking guy's a good guy.
This guy's fucking a good guy, man.
Hey.
I smoked 6 bowls outside.
Yeah.
Man.
God. That is fuck.
This is episode 6 of We'll Name It on the Pod. This week we have Danny Webster. Danny Webster is a solo artist from the Etobicoke area. I met Danny in 2017. I think was first year at Humber College.
Yes.
Yeah, and I feel like I haven't told you this in a conversation before, Danny. So I'll tell you now because I think it's funny. I remember orientation day. Orientation. Yeah, like so right back to day number 1. Orientation day. Me and Tegan Larmond were hanging out because we've been pals for a long time. And Tegan was like, "So you were a bass major at Humber." And so is Tegan. I remember Tegan just being like, "Have you seen this guy?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "He looks so cool." I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, he just like wears really cool sweaters and he just dresses really cool and he has really long hair because you had really long hair at that time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what are you talking about? And I turned around and I'm like, oh, I see exactly what you're talking about. And Tegan was just like, that's just that really cool guy. And that's just like how he talked about you. I just think that's a really funny memory.
Wow.
Around.
Funny enough, the first time I met Tegan at the audition.
Glowing.
You guys are.
You're cutting out.
Danny, just keep talking. I'm just gonna message him and tell him he's cutting out.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna say that Tegan auditioned right before me on audition day, and we kind of talked to each other, and we were both pretty nervous, and and we both got in, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Tegan is such a beast. Holy.
Yeah, dude.
He is a beast.
Yeah.
But yeah, orientation.
I know.
So long ago.
I know. What's like happened since then? Just like so many things. You know?
Crazy.
Yeah. And like, I feel like it's a rabbit hole to start talking about just like what's happened in the 3 years I've been at Humber and just the 3 years since we've known each other. Just so many things.
Yeah. It's crazy how much time has passed and how many things we've all learned. I guess people we've met. It's freaky.
Absolutely. So I just want to start with like asking you what you've been up to specifically, like during lockdown, and how you've been keeping busy, and like have you picked up new hobbies? Have you dug into music a little bit more? So you released a single. We were just talking about that. Not too long ago. So yeah, what sort of things have you been doing?
Well, I work 2 jobs. I work at a restaurant down the street called Thrive Organic as a server, and then I also work at Starbucks just down the street as well. And I got laid off at the restaurant, and Starbucks closed. So I was kind of So I had a lot of free time all of a sudden.
Yeah, that's a rough.
So but honestly, it was okay. Starbucks they handled the situation somewhat well because I still got paid even though I wasn't working. So it was kind of sweet.
Yeah.
So what did I get up to? I just did a lot of writing, did a lot of recording, tried to exercise a bit. When you mentioned hobbies, I learned to shuffle cards. Which is something, it's something I've always thought looks so badass. Like, you ever just playing like a game of poker or something with people, and then someone's like, "Here, I'll shuffle," and they grab the cards, and it's just like this. They just get the sound perfect, and it's just so even. I wanted to be that role in my friend group, and so
I be the dedicated shuffler.
Exactly. And so I bought a deck and just kept it on my table and practiced whenever I felt like it.
Nice. That's awesome. That's pretty awesome.
I
Get the
remember-
bridge looking like a rainbow.
Exactly.
Do you have Do you have a deck of cards with you now? Can you show us?
Yeah, I do. It's right over
Let's
here.
see it.
Yeah, we're going. This is awesome. There's one thing I love are like little
Okay.
tricks.
Yeah, for sure.
You
Okay.
should just do a whole magic show for us.
No, he said.
Okay, I haven't practiced in a while. But let me just tilt the camera down a little bit.
This is sick.
Oh, this is awesome.
Fuck.
Hey.
It's not
Oh,
it's not
man.
bad.
Oh,
Oh,
man. Oh,
man.
the reverse
Yeah.
shuffle skill. Oh, great.
Thanks.
Oh,
Thank you. Thank
That's
you.
cool.
I
You
hope
should have
that,
been like in Casino Royale, that James Bond movie.
I
You
know.
could have been one of the dealers.
I could have been an extra. Well, hey, if music doesn't work out for me, then obviously.
Yo, something tells me it will work out for you. Actually, I have a question about what. It's kind of like a double-edged question, but all the edges are nice. What made you go like the solo artist route, and like what instruments do you record yourself, and can you like run us through your recording process a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. I've been in some bands before. Like when I was in high school and stuff, I was in a band called the Pesky Snakes. If you guys want to check us out,
Oh,
it's
definitely.
like
We'll link it in the podcast.
Okay, that was the thing I was into at the time. But you know, it's funny you ask, because lately I've been thinking, like, I always think it's so cool to be in a band with people and everyone just bring all their ideas together and their minds and just have like this big collaboration project all the time. But the truth is that I know a lot of really great musicians, but I find that I just work better by myself. And I found when I was in that band in high school that I was doing like a lot of the work and was just really picky about stuff and wasn't happy with a lot of the results. And I kind of realized that for now at least, like the way I feel I'm going to be most successful is just to do everything myself. Because
Yeah.
I don't know, collaboration is a strange thing. Like, but anyways, in terms of the recording process, I write the songs, record pretty much everything but drums. My friend Stephen Bennett is a really good drummer at Humber. Jared, I don't know if you know him or not, but he's sick.
I don't.
Love Stephen. Yeah.
Stephen, yeah, great guy.
Yeah.
He's played on my past. Since my album last summer, he's played drums on everything since then, I think.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I was going to ask about that, like the personnel on your recordings, because I'm super curious because I couldn't find it on Bandcamp.
Yeah. It's kind of the same team. So Stephen plays drums on stuff, or Ryan McNeil, who plays drums in my band. He's done a couple drum recordings for me. I'm trying to get better at the drums, but I can't compare it to those two. They're beasts. Especially Stephen is just such a whiz in the studio. Like he never lets me down. Right? It's just a great friend, but also just connection to have. He's
good
great.
mind. Yeah.
Yeah. Stephen does all the drums. I do everything else, unless I need like some sort of specific thing, like a certain guitar solo, in which case I'll get Justice or my friend Ray to do that stuff. Or I've gotten, if there's something a little more specific, like trumpet, I'll get Paul. A saxophone, I'll get Lucas Dubovic.
Nice.
Yeah, and then strings, I'll get Alex George, if you guys know who that is. Really sick violinist. So I've got a few people I can call if I need some stuff.
You've got like a codex of people. You're just going through the circle.
Yeah, exactly. I've got a mental list. I mean, I look up to all of them. They're all so good, but everything else is me.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm going to ask a question that's not on our question list real quick. Going back to the collaboration thing. It feels like energy is like in like, not energy in like a weird broad sense, but like just like creative energy and like individual flow is like very important to your writing process. Could you explain that a little bit? Elaborate on like the individualness of it. Because I don't know, I'm always super interested when it's just like it's one person's mind and it's just like you're just translating. I don't know. I like it.
It's definitely hard at times because sometimes, you know, I can get really lost in my own head and think that things are too, you know, too full or too empty or too behind the beat or too ahead or etc. But I don't know. I work really well by myself and kind of, I don't mean to sound pretentious, but I kind of know
No, of course.
exactly what I want. And
it makes sense. Yeah.
I just kind of do it. I mean, if I need someone's help, I'll ask, but I can be kind of, I don't know if it's like an ego thing or sometimes I kind of want to figure out things by myself. For instance, I'll give you an example. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I feel like that's not an ego thing. I feel like that's just like that persistence, you know, and like a desire to find an end that makes sense and means something to you.
Yeah, and like, I don't know, it almost feels like, it's not always this way, but sometimes if I'm stuck and feel like I need someone else's advice or contribution to something, it almost feels like I've let myself down in some way, which I don't know, that's just how I feel. Like, I'll give you an example. The song I released a couple months ago, I wrote the chord progression and I was really, really stuck on the melody, like really stuck. I wrote this maybe in the last fall. And my friend Rachel Bobbitt is one of my heroes and she's an amazing songwriter. And I sent her the progression and I was like, oh, I'm really stuck. And she didn't quite get around to it. But then I realized that, well, like I just worked hard at it and then I got it by myself. And I had to tell her, I was like, Rachel, I don't need it anymore. I got it. And there's something, as much as it was hard when I felt really stuck, like I felt great because I did it myself, but I just had to put, I guess that's kind of an addictive feeling. It's really addictive.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's like you're forging a path.
Yeah, it never gets old. It's like I have a vision and I bring it to life and it's endlessly satisfying to me.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Look where Jake's screen is frozen. Do you guys see the same picture that I do? Okay.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
It kind of looks like Woody.
Am I like completely? Are you hearing me at least?
We
like,
can sort of hear your audio, so keep trying to talk. But where it's freezing is just hilarious.
Very Toy Story looking, bro.
So embarrassing. Well, so I just wanted to ask, what are some of your like earlier? What?
Ask your.
Don't interrupt my question.
Sorry.
What are some of your earlier musical influences as compared to maybe inspiring music?
Sorry, I didn't hear the last part of that sentence.
It's like what your
maybe Jerry should ask you.
Yeah. Okay.
Influences. Okay, Jerry. Yeah, you.
I'm sorry, Jake.
Sorry, man.
Jake, don't leave the chat though. This is really funny. This is really entertaining me.
I'm leaving. Fuck this.
No, don't leave.
No, don't do it. It was frozen. It unfree. Every time he goes to take a sip of coffee, the video starts again. Jake was trying to say, he's just asking what were some of your earlier musical influences, and also on the contrary, sort of what sort of stuff are you into now compared to what sort of earlier stuff that they were?
When I was a kid, I was really into Rush. I was really into the Beatles, as I still am. I was into... so my mom was really into like classical music and like soft rock and stuff. And my dad is very into like metal and shit. Very like dad rock kind of stuff, like fucking Triumph and Honeymoon Suite, some Canadian groups, and Rush, really into Rush, like really into Rush. Rest in peace, Neil.
Yeah, honestly.
And so when I was a kid, I was really into that stuff. So, but yeah, so I had my mom's kind of classical influence, and then my dad's like hard rock influence. So I listened to a lot of that stuff as a kid, and then in my teens, my brother, who's a drummer, got me a bit more into jazz. So I was listening to like a lot of Bill Evans and like Art Blakey and stuff, Miles, and
Berkeley.
yeah, and that's why I was kind of thinking about going to Humber, because I was like, oh, I'm kind of liking this jazz train, and I got the frets removed from my bass because I was like, I want to be like Jocko.
Yeah.
And
That's awesome.
but you know what, guys? It kind of didn't turn out that way. After a couple years of listening to jazz, I was like, wow, this is not really it's not really my thing. And that's how I was kind of feeling at Humber. But that's a side thing we can go into later. But my influences. Yeah, I mean, it's been the Beatles since day one. Beatles and Beach Boys. Fuck. I never. They're just those bands.
Beach Boys.
Oh God.
Oh, I love
it's like
Beach Boys.
they're just those bands where I'm like, I will listen to them until I die of old age. You know, like it's incredible.
Honestly.
Timeless, yeah, timeless. And just the harmonies and the instrumentation and arrangement of things, it's just endlessly fascinating to me.
Yeah.
What I really like about that is because, like I said, like my dad's like rock influence and my mother's classical, it's kind of like them forging together, especially like with Beach Boys and stuff, because it's like it's like kind of, you know, Western pop music, but just like with these really complicated like
there's low-key effort in those songs.
Yeah, there's
like a lot.
Yeah. Oh, it's like it's so beautiful. I could go on about this for hours, but like the Beatles and Beach Boys, it's like they just have mastered this idea of making something sound so accessible to people who don't understand it, but also like people who do understand it, like the theory of the music behind it. They can be like, holy fuck, like this is great. And it's like
there's a lot to bite into.
It's like
I feel like this is about to be a really bold statement, but that might be like the highest form of our art form is making something.
It's possible,
It's the dream. It's the dream. Yeah, it's like you hear people humming along to the Beatles and they're like, oh yeah, this is catchy. But then you go into like the theory of like fucking, I don't know, the chord progressions of like the song Because from Abbey Road or something like that. And it's like, whoa, like this is really innovative. And I don't know. I could go on for hours, but I love the Beatles, love the Beach Boys. Hands down.
That's awesome.
Can't express that enough. Anyways, more recent influences. Like when I was in high school, got super into Mac DeMarco, of course. Got super into Tame Impala.
Yep.
And Cage the Elephant I had a big phase with.
So good.
Right?
So good. Thank you, Happy Birthday. Oh.
Yeah. Or like Melophobia was my album for a while.
Great album.
Good album.
Fuck, I've seen them live twice, and I love
one time.
Yeah.
the performances are so good.
So good.
We saw them in like an airport hangar too. It was pretty wild.
Them in Portugal, man.
Or not airport hangar. It was like just a giant hangar though. Like you walked in and it seemed like it would hold a bunch of like vehicles and stuff like that.
Wait, what year was this? I think I might have been at that same show.
It was in Mississauga. It was at I can't remember the venue. I cannot remember the venue.
It was with Portugal the Man though.
Yeah.
And Bracho?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I was totally probably there. I don't know how many nights they did, but
this is cool.
Great show.
Yeah, it was super
great,
good. One of my
awesome
favorites.
show.
The vibe was just like, haven't been to a show like that in a while.
It was a great show. Had great people there too. That was a good
show.
Yeah.
That was my first experience being in a mosh pit. Actually, was that show.
Yep.
Wow.
Crazy.
Cage the Elephant.
Yeah, hardcore stuff.
They played fucking Sabertooth Tiger and the place went
exactly.
Honestly.
Good song.
It actually kind of, I don't know about you guys, but I did not have a positive experience with the mosh pit. I don't know if you guys are into those. I don't know, like
I've been moshing for a time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that was my first experience. I'm still open to it, but it was like
definitely.
There was like this drunk ass guy, and he was like, "Yo, lift me up!" And everyone was like carrying him, and like he was trying to kind of crowd surf. And as he was getting up, he like kicked me in the face accidentally.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh fuck!" Like that's no fun. And then like some other
Kicking
guy,
things.
yeah, it's like, and this other guy like pulled off my necklace I was wearing, and it just broke. And I was like,
Jeez.
fuck.
That's
Like,
fucked, dude.
That's a little too. This is like a concert where people don't even know how to mosh. Then because that's
Yeah.
like people are just grabbing
That's just
things.
dangerous.
They're
Yeah.
doing
I
whatever
think
they
there's-
can to get
Yeah.
above head level. And
Someone
it's
tried to
just
pull out my
animal.
hair extension.
yeah.
Definitely like a difference between like a push pit and a mosh
Yeah,
pit, though,
exactly.
too. Mosh
What's
pits
a
are
what's
bit
a
too much.
what's a push pit? I don't know the difference.
Push pit is just a little lighter. More people just
It's
kinda
like
like bumping into
dancing
each other
more
with
than
their
that.
butts.
Like
Oh,
everyone's just
okay.
kind of bumping around,
Yeah.
That's
not
funny.
actually trying to like
I thought
push
it was
people over.
I thought it was the other way around.
Well, I don't know
thought
if it's
a
actually
push.
called a push pit.
I thought a
but,
push
yeah.
pit was just wall to wall, like a protest the hero show. Just
Oh, dude, I don't even know.
Oh.
I don't even know, to be honest with you. I feel like
My-
a mosh pit would be like, that's when the dance, like the specific mosh moves come out, like that
Yeah.
windmill fucking arm.
I don't know.
I gotta
Oh,
brush
dude.
up on my mosh philosophy.
When
my
Corona's over, we'll show you. We'll show you. The
Well,
windmill arms.
my earliest memory of moshing is like, I think it was just this Animals as Leaders show, but I just remember it specifically because Jake of all people in this big mosh pit just elbowed me in the jaw somehow. I don't know how it happened, but I remember it being Jake and he
fucked up.
just
You deserved it.
destroyed me, and I sat in the back of the concert hall just like, am I gonna die? Like, what's happening?
Oh man.
This is the worst.
All right, so we'll go to the next question then. I know we talked about like your recording.
Sorry, go ahead, Nick.
I know we talked about your recording process, but like, what's more of like your songwriting process itself? Like, how do you go about that?
Well, I'm a really routine person. I like a lot of structure in my days and stuff. I'm a Virgo, which I found out is related to that. And I've been writing songs since I was like maybe 13, and but I've started to take it pretty seriously now. And what I do is I set a timer every day for 2 hours, and I sit down and write for 2 hours without really caring about what results I get or how it's going. But to me, it matters that I just put in that time every day. So that's what I do.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I set
it's
a timer for 2 hours, and yeah.
Do you mostly just like play guitar, or do you like go with bass most of the time, or what instrument do you kind of go with?
Between guitar and piano, mostly.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah, writing on the bass,
Yeah,
I'm
no,
not
I
very
was
good
gonna
at.
say that might be a little hard.
Just playing some bass chords.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Victor Wooten over here.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my routine. But it's I read this really great book called The War of Art that you guys might be interested in. I don't know if any of you
I think
have
I've
heard of that.
actually heard of it.
The War of
It's
Art.
fantastic. Fuck, it's so good. And it's this book about professionalism and about
Nice.
it goes pretty deep. It's kind of like the message behind it is like, here are the reasons why you are not the person that you want to be or like who you're meant to be. And it's like, here's what you can do to reach that because you're letting yourself down. It's kind of like
Crazy.
this big like kick in the ass, but it's also just like really inspiring. And anyways, I've read that book a bunch of times and it just talks about doing what you want to get better at every day. So that's what I do. I
Nice.
followed the lessons from that book.
That's awesome.
And it's paying off, dude.
Thanks.
I can imagine.
Thanks. Thank you. It's yeah. Well, I mean, you guys compose and stuff. I'm sure you can understand the frustration of feeling like you're not improving.
Oh, dude, it's so arduous sometimes.
Yeah.
It makes you feel worthless, but then like that gem comes out and you're like, hey, maybe I'm not such a piece of shit after all.
Exactly. It's like my friend Jacob once said it's like with art, like he compared it to like a tap of flowing water. And it's like, imagine you go into like this old ass house and the tap, you turn it on and it's just like shit coming out or like mud.
Mm.
It's just brown and fucking chunky. So what you have to do is like with your ideas is just like let that tap run, shit's coming out. And then eventually, it starts to get clearer and clearer and clearer. And it's like, that's how I feel with like pursuing ideas. It's just persistence.
Yeah, exactly.
I love
Yeah.
that metaphor. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good metaphor. So I thought I'd share it.
I have a lot of respect for the process you just explained, that's crazy. Just like setting a timer
Thanks.
and right, because like a huge learning, probably the biggest thing that I've learned, like being at like in the past like few years I've been in music school, is that like, and this is a really hard lesson to learn, was that like writing music takes as much practice as anything does.
Yeah.
You know, like it was really hard for me to grasp the fact that like it's one thing to practice your instrument and develop chops and theory and everything else, but I felt for so long that once I get good at my instrument, I'll be able to write music. But that's like that. I think they're two totally different things.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, it's just something you have to work at, like everything.
Yeah.
It's like, it's oh, I was gonna say something, I forget. Like writing, I don't think comes natural to me at all. I find writing really hard. Like every day, I'm like, fuck, like, am I trying to make a career out of this? Like, you don't even know. Like every day, I'm like, I can't do it. But again, it's just about keeping that tap running and keeping the persistence but yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy at all.
No. What's the saying? It takes like however many hours to like master something.
10,000, I think.
10,000.
Yeah.
10,000.
It's like, hey, you're doing it off in like 2-hour chunks
Schneider's
a day.
meat commercial.
What?
Yeah.
You're getting to that master level, you know. At some point.
Thanks, man. There's a long way to go. There's a long way to go.
There's almost an endless road.
And that's the beauty of it.
Exactly. And you get to see random shit on the sides of the road, and it's like, hey, I didn't know you were there. And then it's like, oh, I've seen you before, but never like that. Oh, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
So I'm gonna move on to the next question.
Sure.
Talking, right before we hit record, we're talking about this. I wanted to get you on because I think you're so badass for dropping out of music school, or at least, and just, you know, you're like, I'm just gonna make my own music, and you did, and it's been awesome. It's been great. You know.
Thank you, Jared.
So I like the concept. I think it's so rock and roll. I think it's just so rock and roll. That's why I love it so much. But I just wanted to ask you a few questions around that. Maybe you can elaborate. First of all, did you have any expectations going? Like, what kind of expectations did you have going into music school? And did you sort of get what you were hoping out of the music school experience? And maybe elaborate a little bit more on why you decided to not continue being in music school.
Yeah. Well, first, how many of you guys are at Humber? Is it just you, Jared?
So it's just me.
Just Jared, yeah.
I just finished my third year, and Jake is just finishing up. Jake, can you talk right now? Okay.
Yes, I think so. I just got a message that said my internet's crap, but yeah, I'm just about to finish my last year at U of T for as comprehensive.
Cool.
Comprehensive music, yeah. So,
I just graduated from U of T.
Yeah.
True. In the same program?
Oh no, I did something completely different. I did bioethics and philosophy.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So that's something cool about this band. So really quick side note is that like both Jake and Nate went to U of T, and Nick actually also went to Humber, but he did photography.
Yeah, I went up to Humber North.
Yeah.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
I've heard that's a pretty good program there.
Yeah, it
is.
Oh,
yeah.
Maybe not.
I guess. For a different podcast, I'd say.
But yeah, well, I had first heard about Humber when I was maybe in grade like 8. I started playing bass in like grade 7. My cousin was like, I'd kind of known for a long time music. And at one point my cousin was like, yo, you should go to Humber. Like, I know so many great musicians that go there. Like, that's the place to go if you're trying to study music. And I didn't really know anything about it, but just kind of through my cousin just thought that it was like the place to go. But then in high school, I did some more research about it, saw those cheesy little promo videos they have and stuff. And I was drawn in. I thought it'd be pretty cool. And like I said, at that time I was into the jazz realm. I was considering auditioning for U of T and McGill in their jazz programs too, but I think that would have been a really big mistake. I don't think I would have liked that at all. I thought that Humber was like a program that was a lot less, jazz and stuff. Nothing against jazz, but I just thought the program was a lot more open, which really appealed to me.
Pretty free.
Yeah, especially in the latter years. So yeah, I went to first year, met a lot of really excellent people, a lot of really great players. Holy fuck! Like I'm from Aurelia, if you guys know where that is.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Bunch of white old people.
Bracebridge.
Woo! And so coming to Toronto was like a pretty big deal for me because I was just blown away by the talent here. It's insane. It's insane, the people here. But anyways, yeah, first year was pretty rough. I kind of hated every class I took. Like I hated.
Feel this.
I hated my master class. I hated my private lessons. I hated pretty much everything except for ear training. I really liked ear training, and I liked theory a bit. But I kept thinking while I was in class, I was like, God, I wish I could be in my res room writing right now, or just doing something that interested me. Because, like, don't get me wrong, I don't think there's any such thing as bad knowledge at all by any means. But I was kind of like, this is just, I was just feeling really discouraged. I was like, I want to be a songwriter, and yet I'm learning about, I'm trying to think of an example. Just some, like, I don't know, like just like a bunch of jazz theory that I was not interested in at all.
And like I was harmony for some reason, or
or just like bop scales. Like, and I get the appeal of bop scales, but just for me, I was like, I don't want to learn that, and I don't really care. And like all the transcriptions I had to do and stuff, the lifts, I was just putting so much time into stuff that felt like I was not really gaining that much from. And so I kind of knew within like the first 3 months of the program, I was like, this is probably not for me. And so after first year, I decided I would take the year off, just chill in Toronto, live with my friends Justice and Jacob in the house and get a job. And
that's awesome.
And just I wanted to make the most of the year with music and do as much as I could. And by the end of the year, I was like, shit, like I did a lot, and I was really proud of my work. And I was like, why would I go back? Like, what are the benefits of going back? I thought, like, okay, well, yeah, I'd meet some more people, and I would learn some more about like jazz and stuff and history. And if I stayed with it, I would get a degree. But I thought to myself, like, wow, like it's so much money for a piece of paper that, with what I want to do, does not really matter. For some people, like, I get it, the degree, that having that, like, framed or whatever, like that means a lot to people, and career-wise or not. But for me, I want to be really good at writing songs, and the only way you can do that is just to write a lot of songs. And so that's kind of what I put my time into in the year, and I just kind of thought, I'm just going to keep doing it.
Nice, I like that.
Yeah, thanks. It was a pretty scary move. A lot of my family and stuff were not super supportive of that. They want us to be in school, to have a degree, get an education or whatever. But
that plan B, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever that means. I mean.
Yeah, right.
Being in a music program.
What does that even mean?
I can't tell you.
No, you can't.
Oh, sorry.
I can't tell you.
I'm sure it was insightful.
I can't tell you how many times I attempted to do what you did, and it didn't work out with my parents. So
they forced you to stay in.
So now I got that piece of paper.
How does it feel to have that?
To some degree, especially they're like, "Oh, you have Well, I don't have it yet, but I'm sure it's gonna.
It's in the
Whatever.
Okay.
Trust me,
Yeah,
it doesn't feel.
Is everybody hearing me
satisfying.
okay? I still don't know if I'm cutting out or not.
Yeah, kind of.
So, but Nick and Nate got their papers. How do you guys
I
feel
got my
about it?
paper.
Nick didn't get it.
Nick did what? Nick didn't get a paper?
No.
You didn't graduate?
No.
Oh. I'm sorry. I didn't know. Wow, I didn't know that.
Honestly, the paper, it's way thinner than you would think.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
I was like, yeah, dude, it's like you could easily rip that shit. It's like, what?
I thought it would be some like thick stock, like
That's what I'm saying. I thought it'd be like a business card, like a big business card.
yeah.
It's not.
At least laminated.
Nuts, dude. It's a thin ass piece of paper, dude. And it does not feel that satisfying. It honestly, I put it on my wall. I want to take it off because it reminds me of how dumb I was to pay that much money. Because it's like, a lot of these things are just like, it's just developing mindsets and like insights that like, not necessarily that you already had, but that you easily discoverable. It's like I found that most of my props, I don't know if this is like that with music or anything like that. Yeah, maybe it's because I had a lot of first year props, but it was just them telling me what they thought about the subject. It's just like, I want to learn about all sides. It just wasn't like that. So I feel like I got a very, not warped at all, because like what I learned isn't like, I didn't learn lies. It's just like, we could have just figured this out by ourselves.
Right.
Humber's music program is interesting. I feel like it is progressive, like a progressive jazz program, when you compare it to other programs, and like nothing against other jazz programs or music programs, but like the fact that they incorporate so much like of the, I don't want to say business side, but like a lot of practical learning, like the tech classes, and you get a lot of like producing knowledge and background in third and fourth year. But I almost feel like the direction it might be would to be like split it into two streams, because to me it feels like they're trying to put a jazz program into the same program as like just a good music program. And what I mean by that is first and second year are just like second year opens up a little bit. And I know they have ensembles that aren't jazz ensembles, and in history class they talk about stuff that's not jazz. But for the most part, first and second year, like we're gonna force you to make yourself good at jazz music, and we're gonna like, it's like you gotta like, it's tough to get by unless you're like okay with spending time digging into that. But then in third and fourth year, like my favorite year at Humber so far has been third year. Because like third and fourth year, you don't have to do that. Third and fourth year, you play whatever you want. I played so much more rock music in third year, and it felt great. Like I played punchy music on my first recital, and like that felt awesome. And like, yeah, so you don't have to do that stuff in third and fourth year, which is like a shame, because I feel like certain people would want that sort of side of the music program, but don't want to have to go through first and second year.
Man, that's totally me. Like some of the programs in third and fourth year genuinely interest me. Like what's that one about sound? It's like you learn about
probably aesthetics.
Yeah, like that is so interesting.
I feel like
and I would love to learn. Right?
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I would love it, and I would love just like some of the producing stuff. Honestly, even like I've thought sometimes about what my final recital would look like, and how much like that would be a lot of fun. But man, like I just it just doesn't feel worth it. I don't know.
Yeah, no,
I like.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's kind of a nice like fantasy, but I'm like the money and the work to get there. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean,
it's
Humber's. Sorry, go ahead, Nate.
It's like it seems like not practical.
Yeah. And I just like just the amount of money like to pay off at the end of the 4 years. I'm sure you guys can understand. Yeah, it's like fuck. It's like we're musicians and like Like, ouch! It's
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
much money.
Never
Like-
seen that much money before.
Yeah, it's worth more than I am. It's like, so I don't know. Sorry, I hate to keep just like bringing this like
No.
back to myself, but
That's
well, I
why
guess
we're
you are
here.
interviewing me, but
Yeah.
Yeah, we are.
but it's like I don't know. I find just because I'm not in school, like I'm still learning. You don't have to be in some institution to have like an education, or just to be
Yeah.
learning new things. Like just writing every day, even though it's kind of the same routine every day of just sitting down and writing, it's still like still learning and getting better, and with recordings and just meeting new people and playing shows in Toronto. Okay, that's my biggest takeaway from Humber was just the community. My first year at Humber, like I was in residence, and there I met Justice and Rachel and Ray and a whole other bunch of people. And I kind of knew, like, especially living with Justice and Jacob, and after I left, I was like, as long as I stay here, like, I can still be a part of the community. And I feel like I still am, just because I'm not like walking the halls and seeing people in fucking theory class. Like, I'm still going to recitals. I'm still going to people's shows and listening to people's recording projects. Right? It's the community, and
I'm
I got to tell you, like.
I'm happy you still feel part of the community.
Yeah, thanks. I do. I want to be a part of it. Like, man, I've been tempted sometimes to back home to Aurelia so I could not pay rent and live with my dad and just work on music there. But I'm like, no, it's like the people here are so driven and motivated and just so talented and supportive. Like, man, people are so supportive of each other here in Toronto, and it's so great. It's so refreshing. It's like, sure, like, there are people who are like, a little more like on the jazz side at Humber, and people who are more on like the, there are a bunch of different like little subgenres and scenes and stuff, but still everyone is really into what each other are doing, and it's great. Like, I can't leave it. I don't want to leave here. And you're except the rent here is insane.
The rent here is, that's the only unsupportive thing.
Yeah.
Is the rent.
Yeah.
What you said about, and I liked what you said about just like not having to be in an institution to be learning, like.
Yeah.
Like I don't think we couldn't replace Nick or Nate in Punchu if we tried, and I'm only singling them out because they didn't go to music school, and like, we couldn't replace them.
We did try.
What did you say?
And you guys tried apparently.
Uh-oh.
That's not true.
Damn.
Awkward.
I thought I wrote the music.
Anyways, my point is I've learned so much from these guys, and I've picked up so much in terms of just like songwriting. Like, I would not write the same. I wouldn't write music the same way. Even if I'm writing music not for Punchu, I would not be writing it the same way if I weren't for spending so much time with these guys. And it's like a positive thing. I think about it, and I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't be doing this right now if it weren't for Nate and Nick, and I'm glad that I picked this thing up. So I love that comment.
Tell me, what is your guys' process of writing? Because there's so many of you. Like, does one of you come into the group with an idea, or is it like you is kind of like the songwriter? Or?
It's usually like, recently it's been more of a collaborative effort. At the beginning, it was kind of, I wrote a lot of the music, but it's usually like the skeleton of a song is either brought in by me or sorry, Jay or Jake or I. Sorry, Nick.
I don't play guitar. I don't play guitar or anything else. I just hit things.
But other than that, we all have a decent idea of where it's gonna go, I suppose. And then we jam it sometimes, but honestly we'll play it like a good 45 times in a row and then just get it down.
That's just sick. I love that.
Evolve it every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like come up with ideas and whatnot. And like each like
our individual parts definitely change the music.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. See, that's like a big positive about collaboration that I can't really speak much on because I just don't have that. But that's God, that's so great.
Yeah.
I'm inspired. I'm inspired. What how long did it take you guys to make that EP? When did you start that?
Like just the recording.
October.
Or just like 6 months. Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Like maybe
6 months, yeah.
maybe closer to 7, because I think we started early December is when we recorded drums. It was
Right.
like
Yeah.
winter time, and
Yeah.
then everything was done by May, and then we just
Sure.
we had a month or so for it to come out on Spotify.
Yeah.
And we-
Well, it
we had
sounded great.
singles
Like I
out there,
said,
too.
Thanks,
Thank
dude.
you.
it's
Thank you.
it was like a really crisp recording and stuff. I haven't seen you guys live before, but I would love to do a show sometime if you guys are
Oh,
down.
super fun.
That'd be awesome.
It'd be so much fun, right?
I
Dude,
agree.
oh, dude,
Yeah.
hell yeah. That'd be like Humber, U of T. It'd just be a Toronto ass show, dude.
And Dan,
Toronto
I
as
love,
it gets.
I love everyone you
Exactly.
play with too. It'd be so much fun to share the stage with just your band too. Like
Oh yeah,
that,
yeah.
that,
It would
that'd
be
just
fun.
Cool vibes all around for sure.
And you know what? We can have a really nice, friendly mosh pit, and maybe
Oh,
my
yeah.
opinion would change a bit.
Exactly.
We've got to
We'll give you a good
establish,
mosh pit experience.
Yeah.
tell the
Yeah.
story beforehand and be like, guys, no kicking.
No pulling on anything.
Necklaces are friends.
Yeah. And then it's good. But
Yes.
yeah, we should definitely do that once
That would
shows
be-
start happening again.
Straight
Absolutely.
Yeah. Whenever that's gonna happen.
Yeah, that's a nice.
Yeah, who
little,
knows?
Nice little segue into the question I want to wrap it up with.
Yeah.
Do you have any plans for when this virus is gone and you have complete freedom again? Anything specific you're looking forward to? Anything you're working towards?
Yeah, I mean, I've always got stuff kind of in the works. I'm thinking about releasing a single in the fall or winter, but God, I miss playing. I miss performing so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My last
Amen to that.
show was November the 1st
Damn.
last year. So
Wow.
yeah, I've been craving it.
Yeah.
Craving
Honestly.
that rush. And my friend Devin Savis is playing bass in the band now.
Yo.
So I'm gonna be without an instrument on stage, just jumping around, which I think will be really interesting.
That's awesome.
That's pretty day.
Thanks. Kate's the Elephant, super inspired. by it.
Exactly.
Oh,
And
yeah.
like, I just think that'd be so much fun. So
Just
that's
scream.
yeah, and like, yeah. So working towards that. I mean, we haven't rehearsed or anything yet, obviously, but yeah, just hoping to do a bunch of shows. I guess next summer if things are open by then.
Yeah.
I think they will be, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
To some degree, for sure.
I should hope so.
It's looking like there's like a lot of plans just for like the festivals I've seen that were canceled. They're like, oh, 2021, get ready, and it's like, okay.
oh, okay.
So like it seems like summertime next year is when they're planning for it to all be back. At least I hope.
You know, the
Yeah.
hope is that because people have been away for so long that they'll be craving coming out to
Yeah.
shows.
Oh,
So it'll
yeah.
be even.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully next summer is better than this one. I mean, how could it not be? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
this summer,
Exactly. Yeah.
this summer has kind of sucked. I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah.
It's been a bummer. So, but yeah, also I've been working on a lot of stuff. I'm thinking about doing like an EP for next summer as well.
Awesome.
But I'm just in the recording phase, and I take a long time recording stuff. Like the last song I released, I wrote it in the fall, started recording in like maybe December, and like it didn't come out till a couple of months ago. Like I'm pretty slow, but we're aiming for next summer for an EP
Nice.
or something. Yeah.
That's awesome.
We're looking forward to
Yeah. Thanks.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Definitely.
Well, thanks so much for joining us, dude.
My pleasure. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, seriously.
This has been great. Yeah, this has been awesome. I'm not going to say who it was because this is a future guest and I don't want to give it away yet. But I was messaging one of our, but you know who this is. I was messaging one of our future guests, and I was just saying, I was like, man, I'm loving doing this because I get to connect with some pals that I haven't spoke to in so long. And I miss talking with musicians. I mean, okay, that sounds bad because I hang out with Punchu a lot, but I mean I miss being surrounded by just so many different musicians and talking to them, and
Too.
so yeah, it's cool. But yeah, thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me. It was great to meet you guys. For you that I haven't met.
Of course.
Yeah, seriously.
And
nice meeting you.
yeah, and all the best with the rest of the summer and stuff, and then hopefully we'll do a show sometime.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Heck yeah,
Absolutely.
boy.
So you can
Heck
check.
yeah.
You can check Danny Webster out on. Let's see. I hope I get this right. Facebook, yes.
Mhm.
Instagram for sure.
Mhm.
Danny Webster Music.
Definitely.
Bandcamp, and again, I'm just gonna endorse Bandcamp because I freaking love Bandcamp. Bandcamp is just the best way. But he's on streaming platforms as well, so go check that out. Give him a like, support his music because it's awesome. Cool.
Thanks.
You can help support Punchu in this podcast by liking, subscribing to us on this YouTube channel, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I don't know. I don't like talking about our Twitter, but we have that.
I don't like Twitter either.
Yeah, we had to sign up for Twitter for an application to something. Yeah, definitely YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and we're on Bandcamp as well. So that's that. Anything else?
Danny
guys?
Webster, everybody.
Danny Webster.
Thanks for having me.
This is We'll Name It on the Pod. Happy Beef Wednesday. Bye, everyone.
Okay, bye.
Peace.